Welcome to Did You Hear That? Your source for the top stories from the Star Wars universe. I'm Pete Fletzer, and along with my co-host Nick Milkey, we'll break down the biggest headlines of the week and share our thoughts on everything happening in that galaxy far, far away. Don't forget, you can catch us live every Thursday evening on our weekly show, ATGLive, over on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/@the-SSW Network. Join the conversation, hear from special guests, and get the latest news as it happens. And now, this week's... Well, we are your source for all the Star Wars news of the week, and this week we have three stories for you. We have an Acolyte cast member speaks out. We got season 2 of Kenobi may be happening, and the biggest and best of the Star Wars collections are all coming together. So let's get started. Jodie Turner-Smith, in a candid interview with Glamour magazine, recently voiced her frustration over Disney's inadequate support for the cast of The Acolyte amid rampant online harassment. She highlighted the immense effort Amanda Stenberg invested in her role, even crafting an essay to delve into her character's motivations. Yet, despite this dedication, Turner-Smith lamented that the studio silence when their talent faced some vicious attacks on social media. She said, quote, "It's disappointing to feel like your studio is not having your back in a very public facing way." The actress urged Disney to take a firmer stance against racism and vitriol that plagued the show's cast, insisting that they needed to declare that such behavior is unacceptable. This call for accountability echoes the experiences of others like John Boyega, who faced similar challenges. While Disney had previously offered support to actors like Moses Ingram, the lack of strong response for the diverse cast of The Acolyte raises questions about the studio's commitment to its talent. As the conversation about online abuse continues, Turner-Smith's words serve as a poignant reminder that actors should not bear the weight of fan toxicity. Nick, this is a very thorny subject, and there's no, I hate to say it, but there's really no right answer, and it's a difficult situation for both the actors. It's a shitty situation for the actors, right. But it's a difficult situation for Disney. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, and I'm going to come out of the gate right up top and say, as two white guys having a conversation about, what actresses and actors of, people of color have had to deal with in these scenarios, we don't know, we don't understand, we recognize that. It's so hard because this is a franchise that we love. This is a series. These are shows that we see over and over again. And we keep seeing these things happen. We see it happen with John Boyega. We see Moses Ingram. It honestly gives a lot more weight to me to the video that Ewan McGregor did in his car in defense of Moses Ingram during the Kenobi show when that all happened, because that felt more like there wasn't a PR person in his ear going, "Hey, this is what they want you to do." It felt like him going, "What the hell? This is somebody that I worked with and is, deserves to be protected and defended." And it's hard because we love this franchise and we want this franchise to succeed. We want these stories to continue to be told. But it also begs the question, at what point do actors go, "You know what? It's not worth it. I don't want to get shit on. I don't want to get attacked because I'm in Star Wars and a bunch of dipsticks with keyboards are going to come after me, are going to come after my family, are going to force me out of social media." It's hard. And I don't know what the answer is, but I also do firmly agree. I would love to see Disney step up and say, people that are treating our actors this way aren't really Star Wars fans, because
the challenge they face is, you look at the toxic YouTubers, you look at the people who are doing these things. Disney has an opportunity to step up and say something. The question is, and this is, again, as you pointed out, I'm really glad you said it, two dumb middle-aged white guys who are not in Hollywood don't have this perspective. But from a PR perspective, if you begin to add air to that fire, you're going to continue to keep it going. So it's such a fine line. I don't disagree with Jodie Turner-Smith at all. I think that you do need to see better protection, or at least standing up. But on the other side of that coin, the more you give it, the more that keeps coming on. You're just going to keep that story going, and it's going to be perceived. It may be perceived in not the way that they want it to, if that makes sense.
Well, and it's hard because we hear the stories about somebody new gets hired to do a Star Wars project and they're warned ahead of time, "Hey, you're going to get some shit." Like, if you have to warn everybody ahead of time, like, that's our first sign that we've got to handle this better. We as a company, as a corporation, as Disney, needs to step up and say, the people that are coming after our talent, that's not what Star Wars is about.
Absolutely.
It's hard. It's real hard. I don't have the answer, but I would love for, we would all love to see Disney step up some more.
Yeah. And I don't think it takes much, right? I don't think it takes a major, they don't have to buy billboards and an advertising campaign, but be out there and have officials at Disney say, this is unacceptable. And you don't need to go deeper than that to show that you protect your team. I mean, it's like a manager for your baseball team who's out there arguing a call that he knows is not going to change, but you got to get out there and just get in front and show support for the team, right?
Your team.
All right. Well, we do have more news tonight, and the next story is about, speaking of Ewan McGregor, during a lively panel at LA Comic-Con this past week, Ewan McGregor shared exciting news about the possibility of an Obi-Wan Kenobi season 2. He revealed that discussions with Lucasfilm may be underway, igniting hope among fans to see more of the beloved Jedi Master. McGregor expressed a strong desire to explore the Clone Wars era, yearning to don Obi-Wan Kenobi's iconic armored attire and delve deeper into the character's past. He said, quote, "I would love to revisit those flashback scenes with Hayden Christensen." He recalled the camaraderie of their on-screen relationship. And although Lucasfilm has labeled the original series as a limited run, the door for future stories remain tantalizing ajar. Both McGregor and Lucasfilm head Kathleen Kennedy have voiced their interest in continuing Obi-Wan's journey. As the actor reflected on the overwhelming success of the first season, which garnered high viewership and acclaim, anticipation filled the room and fans buzzed with excitement, wondering what new adventures may lie ahead for Obi-Wan. Despite the current slowdown in Lucasfilm's development of new live-action TV series, the prospect of McGregor revising his role as the Jedi Master keeps hope alive in a galaxy far, far away. Nick, we have talked about this 100 times, that this would be like printing money for Disney in our opinion. But let's talk about this sort of conversation coming from Ewan. To me, this feels very much like what he did for many years, saying, I would do it, I guess, if they called me. Meanwhile, they're working hard in the back end. You had Liam Neeson saying, oh, no, they haven't called me. And look at that, he shows up as Qui-Gon.
Imagine that.
What do you think this does for the chances? What do you think this, if you're in Vegas and you're watching that betting line coming up on
I'm putting money on this. This is a bet that I'm making. Ewan McGregor has, the weight, the cachet, the swag, the whatever it takes to, and again, we saw it coming, out of the prequels, the hate, seeing him on stage, talk about how, for a long time I didn't want to do it. And then the love and the fans and the tide shifted.
Yep.
And we've said it. I've said it multiple times in the last couple months on this show. It's the safest money that I think Disney could spend besides, printing some more Baby Yoda t-shirts is put Ewan McGregor in an Obi-Wan Kenobi something else. Regardless of how you felt about the first one, it covers all ages. It covers all genres. It's somebody that everybody knows. And, me personally, very selfishly, it speaks to my heart when he talks about being in that General Kenobi armor with the plastic, because I've said if there's a cosplay that I could get away with, that's the one that I think I could pull off. Like, I want to see that. And if there's a little bit of digital, whatever, but also if you get into those Clone Wars years, it offers the opportunity for Hayden to be involved, and that synergy, that love that they have for each other. I mean, those are wins across the board. So I think it's the safest thing Disney could do behind the Mando movie, and probably right up there with, the possibility, whatever the Rey movie is going to become. Like, the three safest things they could do is that.
I think they should avoid a series and make it into a movie. Make a 2.5-hour movie of a Clone Wars adventure. Samuel L. Jackson from the Marvels, his face, right? I mean, I just made that a verb, which really isn't, but him and Hayden and bring Ariana Goldblatt, right, who played Ahsoka in the Ahsoka series. Bring her.
Some more Morrison will come be some more Rex or clones or whoever it needs to be.
Let's see
this
that.
This is money. This is printing money.
Yes, I think that this would be the easiest and best thing they could do. And I'm with you, Nick. I think the fact that he's even talking about it and tipping his hand a little bit, I think it's happening. I'd be surprised if it's
I'm all about it.
Breaking news from Seattle, Washington, as the Rancho Obi-Wan fundraiser has unveiled exciting new news about a new venture for Star Wars fans, the creation of something called the Saga Museum. Steve Sansweet, the founder of Rancho Obi-Wan, who tipped us a little bit when he was with us a couple weeks ago that there was big news coming. He says that the world's largest collection, which he owns, certified by Guinness Book of World Records, will merge with the incredible treasures of renowned collectors Gus Lopez, Duncan Jenkins, and Lisa Stevens and Vic Wirtz, who have, and you got to hear these names, the good. Boba Cabana, which is fantastic, the Imperial Archives, and undeniably my favorite, and yours too, Nick, the Smithsonian. So these all these collections are coming together. The Saga Museum aims to celebrate the legacy of Star Wars fandom by bringing together over 1.5 million objects into one single immersive experience. While it may take a few years for the doors to open, the locations currently being scouted. Rancho Obi-Wan will continue to operate and offer tours of Sansweet's impressive collection in the meantime. Sansweet said, this new museum is for everyone who has ever felt inspired by Star Wars, envisioning a space that fosters creativity and education around science, technology, and art. Steve, Gus, Duncan, Lisa, and Vic are going to be breaking ground on this new project in the near future. And as details unfold, I am certain we will have Steve on with us. Nick, what does this mean for Star Wars fans?
This is a holy pilgrimage situation. This is, Rancho Obi-Wan, is that now. We've both got friends that have gotten to go. You haven't been to Rancho Obi-Wan, I don't believe, but you've been to,
Yes.
Oh, have you been to Rancho Obi-Wan?
Yeah, I was there. I was there before it was officially Rancho Obi-Wan. See, that's
gotcha. Okay.
I know people. Yeah. I got friends.
You go way back. You got connections. So we've got friends that have been, you've been, that alone is tremendous. Yep. And then to hear about these other private collections and to see the things that can come together in this falls right there, number 2 for me, behind just getting to go in the Lucasfilm archives, which in my mind, the Lucasfilm archives is the warehouse at the end of Raiders. Like there's just shelves and stacks and, we're pushing things through it. I want to see that. I want to see every weird variant of a toy from Japan and the Philippines. I want to see, every different, the screen used props that somebody's bought, things that I can't own. We've had jokes for years in our versions of toy collecting where I say, I can't wait to enjoy that in your collection. Right. I don't get to own all these things. So give me the opportunity to go to San Francisco and see 1.5 million different Star Wars things. Yeah. I mean, this is another great opportunity to preserve the legacy of something exciting.
Absolutely. No, I think it would be, I love it. And you know what, look, again, for some reason, the last couple of weeks, I've taken the morbid side of things, but the reality is, these are collections that are owned by people who are older than us. These collections they are no longer just somebody's collection. It's not like my helmets, so if I run into a bus tomorrow, people are gonna be like, oh, his helmets, they'll give them away. But these are things that are part of American history in a way, and part of global history, entertainment history, and to make sure that they're going to be looked after for the next 100 years it means a lot. And I think it's just a really great situation for them. And again, I'm so happy that Steve and Gus and Vic and all the folks who are involved are able to bring this together and drop this and make it available for everybody to see. I think that's really an amazing situation.
Just another excuse to travel for Star Wars, right?
Yeah, another place to pilgrimage to. Thanks for tuning in to Did You Hear That? Remember, you can join us live every Thursday evening on YouTube at youtube.com/@the SSW Network for all the latest Star Wars news and conversations with special guests. This podcast stream is also home to Around the Galaxy, the weekly Star Wars interview show where we talk to the people behind the Star Wars fandom. Don't forget to connect with us on socials. Find us on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter at the SSW Network, and on Facebook at facebook.com/the SSW Network. You can also support the show on Patreon at patreon.com/the SSW Network, or leave us a voicemail at 504-321-1501. That's 504-321-1501. Don't miss out on the excitement, and we'll see you next time Around the Galaxy. This podcast is copyright 2024 Pete in the Seed Studios, and our music is by the band Apollo's Ghost.